Hey folks, welcome back to Carl's Off the Grid. This week, if you couldn't tell by the opening scene, I am joined with Nick the Animal Steel, and we are finally going to go ahead and put a kitchen inside the cabin. We're going to go ahead, and we know already that this top is level and that everything is perfect there. So we're going to hang our wall cabinets first, and then after we hang the wall cabinets, then we'll go ahead and we'll set our base cabinets. We're going to make sure that the base cabinets are level, and then we'll go ahead lastly and put on a countertop. And we got a really good deal on these cabinets. They are of a cherry front face, if I remember correctly, and we're pretty happy to have them. So let's go ahead. We're going to hang these cabinets, and then at the end of the video, if we have time, I'm going to go ahead and also put in my countertop. We were lucky enough to find a really good deal on a butcher block countertop. So join me this week on Carl's Off the Grid, and let's get at her here. Okay, keep coming. A little bit more, a little bit more. Right, hang on right there, bud. Okay, right there. Yep. Okay, now let's look at the top. We're down just a hair. This could come down just a hair, like right there. Ready?
Yep.
Let me check the gap here one more time. Sorry, Nick. All right. Your end's got to go up. Right there, hang on. Right there. Ready, Freddie?
Yeah.
All right, we got the cabinets tacked in. We're going to go ahead and just make sure that everything's level. I can see this other one fell down. We didn't get that one secured all the way yet, but at least they're tacked in. We have an idea where the overhead cabinets are going to go, and we'll go from there. Nick, do you want to go ahead and shore that up? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's pretty dang good.
All right. We really don't have to worry about the backing behind the cabinets because we already know that there's a solid wood backing that was placed in there during rough construction. So we'll go ahead and we'll zip a couple more screws in here, and then I think we're going to go ahead and lay the base cabinets out and see how it looks.
So pretty good. So right now what we're doing is we want to line up the end of the top cabinets here, these wall cabinets or whatever, and we want to line up the countertop. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a top measurement. So we got 3. So what I'll do is we got 93 up here, and I'm just going to mark 93 out down here. And if you have a level, that's probably the best way to check to make sure that you're completely square with everything. But this is what we're doing with now. So,
all right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set these base cabinets. Right now we just have them put into place just so we roughly know where we are. We're going to take a couple more measurements off camera just to make sure we're exactly where we need to be. And then we'll show you how we affix these to the wall, and we'll start laying the countertop out. I know that I have a stud here because we took the electrical plate off and we saw that the stud is on this side. And I know that I put in backing next to my electrical control panel, and then we know that there's another stud here as well. So those are the key areas that we want to target to give it most of its strength and integrity. It just kills me to screw into this tongue and groove, but what can you do? It's got to be done. Now, I know a couple of you might be wondering, Carl, why do you only have 2 base cabinets? If you remember earlier in the video, earlier in the series, we had, my daughter and I did a video on a pizza oven. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move both of these cabinets over tight. And then on the far side, that's where we want to put, I say pizza oven. It's an indoor and outdoor oven slash stove on the top. And so we're going to custom make, I got extra wood paneling where we're going to custom make that stove and oven into the cabinet so that we're not constantly having it up here and having to open it up and deal with all this other stuff. It'll clear up our counter space. It'll be more like a traditional oven where you can just reach down and open up the door, if that makes sense. So, all right, Nick, let's slide this one over. Right there is perfect. If you want to hold it there. And I'm just going to tack this one in first, and then we'll pull some measurements and we'll check it for level. Perfect. That's pretty dang good right there. Yeah. All right, and then we'll sink one more screw in from the bottom. Ready?
I can't even see it, but yeah, ready.
Right there, that just drew it all in. So now we have a tight seam all the way down here with no gaps in it. Everything's flush and uniform. And we'll go ahead and we're going to temporarily set our countertop on now. And we'll see how the countertop looks. And then we can start framing out the rough framing for where the pizza oven's going to be. We're going to leave a little gap underneath there. And I'm unsure what we're going to use that area for yet. We might use that for a future area for like maybe a well pump to sit, or we can use it as storage of some sort. We could even use it as a little cubby to hide precious belongings in. There's a couple different ideas I have for hiding stuff within the cabin. So we'll see how it looks. We'll just take it one step at a time. Let's go ahead and get the countertop on.
Okay.
Tape. That looks like it. Okay, mine's off. Whenever you're ready, just give me a second. There we go. Now this place where we got this butcher block top, we could only get this butcher block in certain dimensions. So we realized that this is way too long, we're gonna have to cut it down. But I figured I'd rather get it a little bit longer, that way we can figure out where we're gonna go ahead and put the pizza oven in, and once we build the framing for the pizza oven, or the oven, here I go with pizza oven again. But for the oven and stove, then we'll go ahead and we'll cut it on Nick's side, and we'll push this over so that we just have that 1-inch overhang. And something else that I kind of struggled with, we're still kind of thinking about this. My wife brought up a really good point. She said, Carl, did you ever think about leaving the countertop overhang in case if somebody wanted to sit here and use it as a little kitchenette and eat? So we're still kind of thinking about that, but we're going to go ahead and lay out a few different options off camera, and then whatever seems to be the most reasonable, that's the one we're going to go with. But I think it's going to be a family vote on this one. Alright, so this is going to be our food prep area. Nick, I don't know if you can do it, it would be too hard, but if you could kind of temporarily just hold that stove up into place where it's going to go. So basically we cut out the top so that that stove can sit within that area, and the rest of this will be our food prep area. Alright folks, so what we're doing to accommodate a space for the oven is we're just going to take the cutout piece that we use from the top of the butcher block up here and use it for a shelf on the bottom. I just scabbed in a couple pieces of 2x4s on the side, and then Nick went outside when I was doing that, and he is an incredible carpenter. He figured out the measurements for... Nick, could you pull this up with me here?
Yeah.
He figured out the measurements for these side panels. Hopefully I didn't just crush his fingers.
No, I'm good.
We're going to tack that in with some finish nails, and then we cut a piece to finish off with the bottom here as well that we'll tack in with finish nails. And then lastly,
Gaskets up there.
okay. So then lastly, the stove will sit just about flush with the countertop so that we can easily open up the top and still put our pans on here to use the cooktop, and we'll easily be able to use the mini oven for cooking anything that we would like to cook in the oven. Alright folks, I'm so grateful for Nick the Animal Steel helping me out. We are finally done. We're able to have just enough space to fit a whole bunch of things in this tiny little area that we have. We have the gun rack off to the side that Shorts made us, so as we go deer hunting, we can grab our food off the counter, grab our guns, and head out the back door. But here's the most important part. We went ahead and we installed our mini oven and our mini stove. Countersunk down next to the cabinets. We finished it off with boards in front so that it looks like it's always supposed to be here. Nick is a really good finish carpenter. He works actually as a carpenter right now for his job. I got to give Nick the credit for that. And we've got great storage underneath where we can pack away, you know, canned foods, our appliances for cooking, everything throughout the different drawers that we have here. And then we've got storage space on top as well. Here's the whole heart of the system. As you've seen in prior videos, and if you haven't checked it out, look back on my video list. This is our control center for the solar power that's going to be located right here, and here's why. Because we've got so many different features that we can do with this control center. Right here we have ports for charging our laptop and computer. We have ports for, you can charge your cell phones off of it. On this side we have a cigarette port where we actually have a little cooler that works off of our DC power. And so we'll just plug it into this 12 volt little outlet there, and then we can run our refrigerator off there. With the countertop, we chose butcher block. Within 48 hours of installing, you do have to treat the butcher block. So if you go with an idea like this, make sure you look into what types of oils you can treat your butcher block wood with. And we're going to be doing that probably tomorrow morning. That's one of the things we forgot to bring up to the cabin. I hope that this video helps you in your creativity as you design your mini cabins. For us, we're just thrilled with how this turned out, and this is going to get years of good usage. And we saved a lot of money doing it ourselves. If you ever done research on cabinets and countertops and stuff like that, this stuff is really expensive. We have done this whole kitchenette project for, I bet you it's been under $300. So hopefully this helps you out. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Carl's Off the Grid, and we appreciate the continued support that you all give the channel. And if you have any friends, by all means, share it with them. And we'll catch you next week on Carl's Off the Grid.